Hey, what's up, Panther fans? Want to welcome you to another weekly edition of the Four Man Rush live podcast. I believe this is episode 110, if I'm not mistaken. Tonight it's going to be me. We also got Big Smooth with us, and we also got Jadarius here, aka JD, aka Panthers Den. Hopefully, we'll have Will joining in later. He's in town, got some things going on. So we'll try to do this with a little cover three action between the three of us. There was a lot of hype going into this game for Panther fans with the return and expected start of one Cam Newton. Needless to say, Cam brought a lot of excitement and energy to the game. Unfortunately, the Washington football team had other plans, and they ended up winning this game 27-21. Um, Definitely, being there at the game, sitting with my boy Monty Fetty. It was crunk, it was hype, it was it was everything that you wanted in a game. I mean, the stadium was actually packed and loud with mostly Panther fans. Hardly could hear any Washington fans in the stands for this game. So it was definitely the type of atmosphere that Cam Newton called for in his press conference leading to the game about how we need to reclaim Bank of America Stadium. The fans definitely did their part. Unfortunately, the team couldn't do enough to do their part. But hey, we still gonna keep pounding. Um, Coming up first, we're gonna have Big Smooth come in here and give his analysis from a trench perspective of what went down because that's where a majority of the tone was set for this game. So, Big Smooth, tell the folks how it went down in the trenches with us between Carolina and Washington.
Well, overall, we lost the physicality battle. That team was way more physical than us. Even though it was a close game, it really came down to two things: physicality and coaching. And I do want to talk about coaching for a little bit because I know that some people are fans of Matt Rule, some people are not. When it comes to a person like me, it's just very hard for me to have confidence for the future where I don't see improvement. I think this game came down to in-game decision making. I believe that some decisions should have been made that probably would have made the game a little bit more competitive than what it was. Even though we only lost by basically two field goals, there were opportunities to take advantage of what we didn't. We came out strong. We had an opening drive where we marched all the way down the field, scored a touchdown. And then we actually forced Washington to punt. But then when we get the ball back, we have two or three straight drives where we do absolutely nothing. I think with the talent that we have on offense, that's just absolutely unacceptable. And it comes down to making the right decisions in the booth. I think Joe Brady was real vanilla in the first half. And you're dealing with a coach like Ron Rivera, he's going to make adjustments. I think we got outclassed from a coaching standpoint. I think if you look at all four quarters, and it came down to decision by decision by decision, Ron outcoached Matt Rule. Ron is not afraid to go for it on fourth down. He did that plenty of times. Put our defense on the edge. And then you come into this game with the number two defense in the league. Was there anything that y'all saw that Taylor Heineke couldn't do outside of a couple drives where he was forced to punt? Taylor Heineke came out and played like a starter. Like, how do you get your ass abused by Taylor Heineke? That's what happened to us. Couldn't get pressure on the quarterback consistently. We couldn't cover. Dante Jackson has been playing like an all-pro all year long. He waits till he plays Ron Rivera to look like a bag of garbage. We traded for C.J. Henderson. He gave up a touchdown to number 11. What's number 11's name? Sims? He got abused all game long. I just Cam came back. Cam played well. I believe that we have a lot of confidence with Cam going forward. But I think my biggest issue, and y'all seen it on Twitter, I said, what is the feeling that you have on a Monday after a loss like this? It's just like it's hard to point to a specific flaw that made us lose. We just didn't look like a team that's trying to compete to play in January. We didn't look like that on Sunday. And I think 90% of it just comes down to the fact that our coach isn't improving. You can't keep making excuses for the offensive line. They protected well. Cam played an outstanding game, so you can't blame the quarterback. So when you lose a game and you really don't have anything specific to point at, what's the problem? We want to go to the defense. The number 2 defense in the league got gashed. I'll let y'all talk tonight. I don't have much to talk about. I just think that for some odd reason we can't put it all together.
Yeah, you definitely hit the ball right on the head with that. Um, I had posted earlier in one of the in the main Panther group that you know we got three type of Panther fans. We got the anti-Cam fans that don't see nothing good in what he do no matter what. They nitpick and want to magnify everything he does. They want to make comments about what he wears and just nothing this man can do. Then we got the Camper fans who think Cam walks on water, can't do nothing wrong. Everything is the mistake of everybody else. Even when he does have a bad game, it's not really all on him. And then you got the fans like us who can see both the good and the bad. We can praise when it's good and we can call out when it's bad. But at the end of the day, we just want to see a win or whatever. We're not trying to, be all focused on the nitty gritty. So uh, just being there at the game, you just really felt like that when we got the ball back, like in the fourth quarter, that we actually felt like we had, chance, to pull this out. Something we haven't felt like that with Sam Darnold previously. But as far as the tone set the game, smooth, you was spot on, man. We just got our ass busted, man. Like it was so many of our defensive linemen on skates. I thought the ice capades came early. I mean, we was looking at game clippings in the chat throughout the day. What Brave Run Roy, my God, like he was walked out of there like man, I can't even describe how it looked. And these are single blocks. Derek Brown got his ass bust. Daquan Jones got his ass bust. I mean, when you don't play with good leverage and you don't play with good technique and you play with your pads high, you get you get blown off the ball. And that's something that happened repeatedly here with us. But JD, outside the trenches, from your skill positions and everything else, give me your perspective. Where did it all go wrong for the Panthers from that perspective?
It's hard to say on offense. Again, third downs was putrid. This game. You had a long fourth down, so I I actually like us spreading out our personnel group is a lot more than what we had in the past. With Cam Newton, you're seeing a lot more three wide receivers and a lot less two or three heavy personnel, 12 personnel, and all that good stuff. So, I from that perspective, I like it. But I don't like on offense how Taylor Heineke was able to push the ball more against the number 2 defense in the league than we were with the fastest wide receiver corps in the league. That doesn't make sense to me. There's no circumstance where that should be the case, no matter who the quarterback is. Even with Sam Darnold, teams should not feel comfortable again to press us in cover 2 and sit with 5 underneath receiver defenders and not expect us to run past them. Like that should never happen. I don't know what's going on the offensive side of the ball. I won't harp on it too long, but this is something that I'm starting to see Joe Brady running out of excuses because your O line has played better than they're getting better every week. It seems like, even though you're mixing up the groupings more and more when you should really just be putting the same guys out there. Honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you. Christian back healthy, so you can't use the Christian is our offensive identity excuse. Wide receivers are back and they're catching their targets, so It's not like they have the drop season anymore. It's just at this point, you're gonna have to force the defense to honor you as far as covering down the whole field and not just sitting within 15 yards of the line of scrimmage. So that's something on the offensive side of the ball. On the defensive side of the ball, it was a tough outing for most of our corners. Obviously, people are going to look at Dante and his game today or yesterday or Sunday, and it was just a tough outing for the man. Undisciplined eyes got him beat a lot. His eyes sometimes get wider than his stomach, and he wants to make every play. And that's a blessing and a curse as far as young players like Dante. Even though he's a third-year player, you would hope he would kind of grow out of that and play more to the scheme, and he'll just realize that playing in the scheme will get him opportunities. But you can kind of see him pressing a little bit, and I think emotionally our defense was just too high, honestly, especially after the first couple stops. They just started playing outside of themselves. Even the edges losing contain. The interior guys getting blown off the ball. Linebackers picking the wrong gaps. It seemed like almost every phase of the defense had an uncharacteristic folly. Even though we've seen these things before, it's not like I've been the one blowing the horn. Like I don't even think this defense is playoff ready. I'm not gonna lie to you. Just off the simple fact that teams like the Dallas Cowboys exposed us, and now teams are also following suit. In that, if you just don't abandon the run, eventually we're just gonna lose contain. Eventually, our guys are just gonna pick the wrong gaps and beat ourselves. So, I think as far as the defense goes, it's just gonna be a matter of getting back to square one. Hopefully Gilmore can be a mainstay on the field now. He shouldn't ever come off the field. We're gonna get to that point though, but you can tell that we were missing that technically sound corner out there with DJ and Dante and Keith Taylor blowing the coverage. It was just a tough outing for our young DBs.
All right. Can you guys see this? What I'm sharing?
Yeah, we see it.
All right. So this was posted. I posted this back on the 19th. So this was Friday morning, 11:21, and you know, I'd be damned if it didn't come true. I said the biggest test offensively for the Panthers would be the run game by Washington. Even though they had 92 yards on 34 carries, it helped them to win the time of possession, 39-21. Plus, they also run a very physical blocking scheme that the Dallas, Minnesota, and New England used, who smashed us, especially with off-tackle edge defenders. Like, this is the type of stuff I don't want to gloat or anything about being right about, but this is something that, here at the 4-Man Rush with us, how we do our research and look into things. Everything that I just read that I said on Friday before the game happened. Time of possession, Washington, 36 minutes. Carolina, 24. Very physical blocking scheme. Big Smooth, you pointed out how you saw Washington insert, extra tackles and stuff on the line to, like how Dallas did to, get that extra beef on up front to move us off the line. And the same thing, these four teams have all gotten 180 or more against us rushing. Dallas had like about 250. Minnesota had right at 2. Man, we just pretty much, got dominated by the same blueprint, and I'm gonna call it the Dallas blueprint because that's where it originated from. Of teams just pretty much be like, you know what, they fast, but they light in the ass. Come here, ass, I got something for you. So it basically just, that's basically, what happened. So For me, I'm just like at the point where, um, teams are going to continue to try us in this manner until we are able to, figure something out. Now, me personally, what I like to see is that instead of staying in these 30 fronts, let us counter by getting some more beef up front. Let's jump into a 40 front. Um, Me particularly, I would like a 40 front of uh, what's his name? Morgan Fox at DN, Derek Brown, Daquan Jones. And instead of putting Brian Burns at DN, again, to put some more meat on it, I put Util Gross Matos as my down four. And then at linebacker, I put Shaq. Uh, you can flip flop if you want to do Reddick or Frankie Louvu, and I put Burns at an outside linebacker. Just to counter these things. You know what I'm saying? Because the way we're doing it now ain't getting it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my own ideas, my own perspective of what I think would be something that could help neutralize when teams just decide to go big and heavy on us in the trenches and just blow our ass off the ball.
How about giving Marquise Haynes more reps? He seemed to be more solid than Reddick and Burns in the run game, and then he also shows you that he's a capable pass rusher. I think that Brian Burns has played about 401 more snaps than Marquise Haynes this year, and he only has about 3.5 more sacks than Haynes. So, what's the point of having all these guys if you're not going to use them? You know what I'm saying? Vince Holmes, he pointed out that we had pretty much too much of a rotation in the secondary. When you play in the secondary, it takes guys a while to get into a groove. They need constant reps to get comfortable. And we rotate so many damn guys, it's hard for the secondary to get comfortable. But with that same strategy, you should use that in the trenches. Keep guys fresh. Why are you trying to treat Hassan Reddick and Brian Burns like they're 3 down edge rushers, Kev? I don't understand that at all. They're not 3 down edge rushers. To be honest with you, they're above average pass specialists. And we have the depth and we have the quality of talent to be able to stop the run, but we got the wrong guys in the wrong situations. And that's why I constantly question this coaching staff. I constantly question it because I don't see this team improving as far as coaching goes. You got a guy like 98 that's been showing you that he can stop the run and he can rush the passer. You got guys like Morgan Fox. You got guys like, it's not too many we can name that's good at stopping the run, but where's Gross Matos? He's showing you that he can stop the run.
Yep.
Why aren't we giving these guys reps? You know what I'm saying? So first and second down, it should be pretty easy. Put the guys that are great at stopping and running the game. But you're trying to treat Hassan Reddick and Brian Burns like they're 3 down edge rushers, and they're not. And teams are going to continue to pick on us on that off tackle run. They're going to continue to do it. They did it all game long. I miss John. I miss John Masco. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but I miss that man. He had he had his third string center in there dominating. I miss Masco. We don't have that right now. I'm going to rant all night, just so y'all know. I got a lot to rant about, but let's move from subject to subject. We got dominated in the trenches. We looked soft on both sides of the ball, and that's why we lost the game.
Another thing here, if you guys go to Panthers.com where they dropped the snap count here, our defense was on the field for 67 plays. And out of those 67 plays, for the players that we just named, Marquise Haynes on 15 snaps, which was 22%. Util Gross Matos, 30 snaps. Here as well, Morgan Fox, 28 snaps, which is 42%. So we're talking about our 3 better run stoppers, not even getting much over 40%, and collectively as a group, they're getting less than 40% of the snaps. And then when you go back and look at the stats by the ones that are getting the snaps. I mean, let's call it for what it is. Okay, Hassan Reddick, 5 total tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. Yeah, those really sound like pass rush specialist sacks. Yeah, I get it that he's leading probably one of the top sack leads. I get it, but it's so much more to playing edge than just sacks. You know what I'm saying? Brian Burns. I'm looking at his numbers: two tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 2 quarterback hits. For a guy that's trying to pin himself as a cornerstone of his franchise, I need more from you from that. If you're dominating the snap here, he played 75% of the snaps with 50 reps. I need more than 2 tackles and 2 quarterback hits from you. That's just the bottom line. JD, you got anything else you want to add about this?
It's hard to talk about for me because we were supposed to be a multiple defense from the jump. And I'm not seeing the multiple personnel, the right personnel to run multiple defense. Like we got like 1 or 2 5 techs on the team right now that could play DN, 40 front DN. We got like maybe 1 or 2 true 3 techs. We're not even prepared. We're not even prepared to counter the heavy looks that we're gonna get. And I don't think they thought about it. I think when you look at this front 7, it's constructed like a college team. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's like we just gonna beat them to the point of attack. Well, what happens when the point of attack is on your jersey in between your numbers? Like it's baffling to me that they couldn't foresee this being an issue, but we decided to keep like 4 tight ends or whatever. But hey, that's just the thing. And like I think in both cases, for the front 7 and for the D-backs, particularly the safeties, I think the answer is already on the roster. They just don't play the right guys, like Smooth alluded to. I think Morgan Fox is your best defensive lineman right now today. I think if you let him play a little bit of 40 front DN, you'll see a little bit more action to the ball, and you will see a little bit better run defense for the safeties. I think Kenny Robinson is your answer at free safety. I think it's time out to keep playing these guys like Justin Burris, even though he has potential. Like he's not a rangy safety. He's not going to be able to cover your guys like that. So get a true free safety that can cover some ground. That's Kenny Robinson. He's been here all along, making plays on special teams. He was one of the most active DBs in preseason. But again, I'm not one to blame or harp on blaming the coaching staff, but these things are inexplicable to me. I don't understand, and I can't fathom why they're not playing the right guys when obviously the answer is already on your roster.
But my question to you is, why not blame the coaching staff? I don't see why you can't blame the coaching staff. Like especially when it comes to continuity on the offensive line. Are you that biased? Are you that selfish where you feel like you'll mess up a good thing and you bring in John Miller? I'm not saying John Miller had a bad game. He was okay. But I thought that we had something really going with that interior with Michael Jordan and Trent Scott. And we all know with the offensive line, you got to try to keep things consistent. Like moving parts is not good for an offensive line. So when you look at the big picture, 3 weeks straight, you got 2 guards that are thriving together. Why you take one out? I'm going to continue to question what the coaching staff does. I'm on that fence where it's like, Matt Rule, you have to show me. You have to show me you worthy of winning Super Bowls. I'm not saying go out and get a Super Bowl right away, but you got to show me. And we had this argument in the chat. Y'all know Monty Fetty. Me and him debated all day long about coaching staffs. He was curious as to why I was so patient with Ron Rivera in year 1 and year 2, and I'm not patient with Matt Rule in year 1 and year 2. I can be as patient as you want me to be, but show me improvement in certain areas. In game coaching, there's not a Panther fan, a part of this Panther fan base, that can show me Matt Rule improving as far as in game coaching. What is the difference between year one Matt Rule and year two Matt Rule? You're still not managing timeouts correctly. You're still not playing the right guys. What do you want me to believe in? Give me some motivation and be like, okay, year three, we're going to be a much better football team. The only thing that has gotten better with this football team is the roster itself. There's more talent from year one to year two. But as far as coaching as a whole, it's horrendous. Everybody's talking about Joe Brady's going to be a head coach in this football league. Can somebody tell me who coached the better game as far as coordinators go? Who called better plays? Joe Brady or Scott Turner? Y'all familiar with Scott Turner? Our entire coaching staff got outclassed yesterday. We lost by 2 field goals. If we could coach better, it's not the same type of game. And the only reason the game was that close is because Gibson fumbled in the red zone. He don't fumble. The whole game is a completely different picture. I'm not going to say our players got outplayed. We lost the physicality battle. We lost in the trenches. But at the end of the day, you got to hold the same way on your coaching staff. Our coaching staff got completely outclassed. I'm sick and tired of that. Like that. I don't care if we went out. We can win out and make the playoffs. We're going to be on the edge of our seats for every playoff game. We're going to have high blood pressure because nobody trusts this coaching staff. Nobody's going to come on my Twitter and say, oh, you know what? I trust Matt Rule and his coaching staff. Y'all don't trust this coaching staff. If you say you do, it's full of shit. We can't trust the coaches. Somebody come out and admit that. Comment on it. Hit me in my DM. Somebody come to me and tell me that they trust this coaching staff. Tell me this is winning coaching. Tell me this coaching is what's going to get us over the hump. Because I don't see it at all. I think our biggest weakness on this entire football team comes down to coaching.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And, we're going to do a little bit of, since we're doing a little bit different tonight, just to switch it up a little bit while we stand on this topic, just share some of the comments of the fans who are coming along with us here. Let's take a look here. Pretty much smooth. Our fans in the commenting here are pretty much saying you are spot on with everything that you said. Let's see. Yeah.
Hey, Kev, I believe in being patient. I swear to God, I do. I believe in being patient. I was patient with Ron. I'm patient with developing players. I don't want to just throw anybody under the bus right away. I believe in developing everything. But you have to give me something to be confident about. You have to show me improvement from a week-to-week basis. We see improvement everywhere but this fucking coaching staff. Tell me what is different. Any fan, come tell me what's different between year one and year two with this coaching staff.
Honestly, you're going to be hard-pressed if we're going to be truly honest with it. And as someone that is a Matt Rule fan, that would be something that would be a head-scratcher for me to find that's of significance. I really, my hope is that, with this first 2 years, he's solid stuff. Some of it does work, but a lot of it don't. And if he does end up standing around for year 3, I would like to think that this offseason is some soul searching and, letting go of the dumb shit that's clearly obvious. That's just me, my own perspective and hope as a fan, hoping that, it could potentially happen, but time will tell. But I'm going to go to this comment here, Smooth, because I know you're a Dante guy. Clearly, he had his worst game of the season, but this was by far, I think, maybe his first real bad game of the season. We got a comment here that says, take D-Jax out of the lineup. Agree or disagree? Hey, Smooth, can you hear me?
Yeah, I know who. I know about Cam and Sean. He talking out his ass tonight, but it's okay. I mean, and that's one thing that y'all gotta understand. Dante Jackson has played great football 9 out of 10 games. So that 10th game where you have off game, you want to take him out of the lineup? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Like, stop it. McLaurin McLaurin trashed everybody. If I'm not mistaken, it's just that Dante was on him most of the time. But when you wouldn't put Gilmore on him, he still ate. You wouldn't put CJ on him, he still ate. You wouldn't put Bouye on him, he still ate. He was unstoppable all game long, no matter who was covering him. So it's way bigger than the Dante Jackson issue. Yeah, Dante had a bad game. You want him to play better, but so did my favorite offensive lineman, Michael Jordan. He got abused. Every once in a while, guys are not going to play well, and it is what it is. But when you have a complete football team, you can make up for individual deficiencies. We didn't do that. Some of these individual performances made a difference in the game. 93 for Washington abused Michael Jordan all game long. It forced Cam Newton to get rid of the ball a little bit faster. And some of the plays that we wanted to execute, we couldn't execute because we didn't have enough time to develop. Same thing with Dante Jackson. He gave up a touchdown. He gave up some big plays. Those were difference makers in the game. He was so out of the game mentally. He went off sides on a field goal. Like, of course, Dante didn't play his best game. So you can point at individual performances all you want. I don't disagree with y'all, but at the same time, there's a reason why this team leads the league in penalties. There's a reason why this team, every single game, one or two players makes crucial mistakes rapidly every fucking game. How come we can't put together a complete performance? I have to point to coaching. Every single game, somebody is just not on the same page as the rest of the team. Every single game, we're giving up penalties we don't have to give up. Every single game is somebody you can point out that's like they're playing the worst game at all. They're playing the worst game they played all year. It comes down to coaching. Why are these guys not focused, Kevin? Why are these guys not coming out with the same mentality every single week, Jadarius? Why not? Who you going to point to? This coaching staff, fellas. That's all it is. What the fuck is that DBO sign up there for when guys are giving up penalties every game? Y'all tell me. I'm trying to listen more than that. I don't want to talk too much. I'm trying to listen. Y'all point to something else besides this fucking coaching staff and tell me what the problem is. Please. I'm begging you.
Well, this next comment up, I was going to leave for JD, but you might want to close your ears on this one, Smooth. JD, Freddie Figueroa says that timing at the end was stupid. Thank God Gibson ran out of bounds. I personally felt that way as well because I'm like, yes, I am thankful because that allowed us to, eventually have time to get one last crack at it, even though we didn't cash it in. But that's speaking of earlier, this whole clock management timeouts, it seems to still have not been rectified, JD.
If I had one major gripe with Matt Rule, it's the time management and strategy aspect of coaching. You can't control how your guys, well, indirectly, I suppose, by preparation, you can kind of help your guys perform, but you can't go out there and perform for them. But what you can do is know when to call a timeout, know when to play field position. I've seen some improvement, but from week to week, that does not carry over, and that's my main gripe with it. Like, you are in control of the timeouts. You make the call when to punt, when to kick a field goal, and that's still not, it's not coherent as far as coaching staff goes. So that's something I'm mainly concerned about. That's a huge red flag for me, where your coach cannot manage the game. That's just that, and quite honestly, it rubs off on players because now the players don't really trust you. Especially when you're kicking a long field goal instead of playing field position and trusting your defense to give you back the ball on the short field. well, will you do that 1 week and then you turn around the next week and you, instead of punting the ball, you kick a long field goal and now the offense is on the short field. It's just inconsistent, and I don't like that. Even though it's only year 2, and he's a college coach. College football is football, bro. Like you got to know when to use your timeouts and when how your defense is trending and all that good stuff. So that's something I think. I don't know. I don't think there's going to be a magic pill, honestly, for year 3. Like, if we don't see some consistency in that regard by the end of this year, I don't know if he's ever going to get it.
Yeah, I definitely feel the same way. Like I said, I don't think it's nothing magical. I mean, I hate that what seems so obvious to us as fans is not clicking. So, hey, that's going to be one of the mysteries of 2021. This next coming here by Jeffrey Johnson says, all of our players got skills and a lot of potential. Everyone just needs to get on the same page and be consistent every game. I personally agree with that as well. Big Smooth, you've been saying for a while, damn, a rebuild, we got the talent on the roster to compete now. JD, you've also hinted at, particularly your Twitter account at Panthers Den, the same thing. I agree. I feel like the talent is there, but again, when you're leading the league in penalties, and when I think of that, I think of teams like the Raiders who've done it notoriously year after year. When I saw that, I was just like so dumbfounded. But now when I go back and think about it, like Christian McCaffrey broke off 3 long first down runs. They end up getting called back by 3 different holding penalties here. So now we're putting the defense in a more controlling situation, 2nd and 20. Okay, they know that we're going to pass likely 2 times. So now they're playing looking for the pass. We just got ourselves out of position. So, yeah, man, like I said, if this talent can ever get consistent, then, we're going to be a problem. But until then, it's going to be a lot of the more same old same.
Let me point out something real quick. I just want to point this out real quick because I don't think people really understand how terrible the coaching is. But when it comes down to the offensive line, it's not always about starting the absolute best player. It's about finding a groove with all 5 guys. So I thought that we made a huge coaching mistake before kickoff. John Miller got the start. Why did you start John Miller when Trent Scott has been playing exceptional for 3 straight weeks? So that's key one. And let's move to the next step. You got Hassan Reddick and Brian Burns. They're combining for a whole bunch of sacks. I ain't gonna lie, they're getting to the quarterback. But we're sweet when it comes to stopping the run. We're sweet. I don't know if y'all know what that means, but we soft as fuck. And they run at one particular place. They run on the edges. So if you know for a fact that Brian Burns and Hassan Reddick have not been good at stopping the run, just like Kev mentioned earlier, why aren't you running more 40 front? Why aren't you bringing Gross Models in the game? Why aren't you putting Morgan Fox on the edge rusher? Why aren't you giving Marquise Haynes more reps? Marquise Haynes is a starter in this football league. He's been productive damn near every single snap he's been in the game. And he's better at stopping the run. Why are you rotating so many different people in the secondary and not letting guys get in the groove? Every single issue with this football team has nothing to do with talent. I give this team a whole bunch of credit when it comes to improving the talent. But we don't see any type of improvement with in-game coaching. What second half adjustments did y'all notice? I'm just trying to point out the facts, fellas. How do we get better in the second half? How do we get better from quarter to quarter? These are things that we just don't see. We don't know what that feels like for, you know what? Damn, they're killing us up the middle with the run. They're getting 7 yards a pop. Let's make this change so we can stop the run. We don't see that. Our offensive line, you know they only played 51 snaps total. When I grade these players, I'm used to getting 70 to 80 snaps per player. We didn't have more than 51 snaps. That just showed you how much Ron was able to dominate when it came to time of possession. When you look at this team, what have we done well? We control the clock. We got out coached, bro. What game did we go in when we didn't control the clock? First time all year, Washington football team dominated us when it came to time of possession. I'm sorry. We got dominated, bro. We got dominated physically, and we got dominated from a coaching standpoint. And those are the two keys of the game right there. Because you can't really look at Cam. Cam played well. DJ played well. CMC played well. Our offensive line played pretty solid, except for one player, my favorite player. So when you look at the flaws, it came down to two things. We got out coached, and we didn't win time of possession, and we got abused in the trenches. We just got abused, like as far as physicality. Do y'all even want to move on to Miami? Like, do y'all even want to move on? Like, I'm being honest. Like, what is our ceiling?
Yeah, we can move on. I just this was one of the last questions. I actually was going to do this because I was looking at the time frame here. We're at 41 minutes. Here's coming from Michael Jones here. Says Cam Centerfield Superman threw Shaq off too. Shaq hates that about Cam. I know this to be true from the selfie I took with Shaq in 2018. How the players feel about it, I personally have a say. I know as a fan in the stands, we fucking loved it. It energized us. It got us our first. It was after we got our first lead at 14-7, about 5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Even Ron Rivera said he had no problem with it as well. He said logo, so he didn't see no issues with it. But if we to take this to be true, that Shaq, who we consider one of the leaders on this team, has a problem with it. If that's to be true, then that's something they need to hash out. Because it looked like the players on the sideline, they got hyped and they fed off it too. So, Michael Jones, if that's what you're saying, we can't, we're not in a position to say that you're not telling us the truth. I just didn't see that type of reaction on the sideline that didn't get not only the fans hyped, but the team hyped as well.
Y'all lucky I don't want to be petty smooth tonight because I roast this man. But let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on to Miami.
You better behave.
I appreciate you watching, Michael Jones, but I will roast you, boy. Keep pounding, my guy.
All righty then. So let's get ready to switch it up here. Get ready to talk about Miami. All right, so week 12 matchup is going to be Carolina traveling down to Miami to play the Dolphins. The Dolphins, who are currently 4-7, third place in the AFC East. Fellas, they've actually strung together some wins recently. Take a look. They've won their last three. They started off by beating in week 9, 17-9. The Pruta 2-7. Then on Thursday Night Football, they beat Baltimore 22-10. And then yesterday, they beat the New York Jets 4-17. So this is a Dolphin team that's got a 3-game winning streak and starting to feel themselves and looking to see if they can make some noise. Heading into this matchup with us, we're up and down. Now we're on the road. We seem to be most of our 3 of our 5 wins so far have came on the road. We won at Houston, we won at Atlanta, and we won at Arizona. The only 2 home games we won are the first against the Jets and the Saints. So heading into this matchup here, and by the way, the plan is for myself to go down to Miami for this game to get up with the 4-man rush Will. And we're going to definitely be at the game because Will lives in Miami. So, that'd be another 4-man rush exclusive for you guys. But heading to this game, again, on paper, it looks like it should be a game that we've seen. We haven't earned the right to feel not even confident about, this ability to get the win. JD, before we came on, me and you was talking. You said you put up some stats and information about these Dolphins. Some of them was kind of surprising to me. Go ahead and tell our fans some information about these Dolphins, man, that you found out.
Yeah, so ahead of the games, I like to look at where especially at this point in the season, look where they're standing as far as offensive and defensive production. So right now, Miami is 12th in the league in pass yards. I think it's like 3,000 something. They're kind of going between Tua and Brissett there. But passing game, they have a lot of talent at wide receiver, a lot of speed. Devontae Parker on IR, but Allen Hurns on IR as well, but still. Jalen Waddle, Albert Wilson, Matt Collins, those guys are pretty good at football. So whoever's playing quarterback is going to have weapons to throw to, and that much is obvious. We're looking at, and this is the big stat that jumped out at me. They're 26th in rushing yards per game. They've never had a rusher over 90 yards. And one of the points I brought up on my Twitter not too long ago, at Panthers Dan 4MR, if y'all want to go follow, salute to you. But we tend to give up our worst rushing days against mediocre and bad rushing offenses. And let me tell you something. If this defense gets rushed on by the worst O-line in the NFL, if Myles Gaskin gets over 90 yards, bro, y'all could go ahead and dead all that playoff talk, bro. You can go ahead and dead all that. Because this team is not good running ball. They're not physical. And when they do try to get physical, they get physical with the dirt. They end up in the dirt. Y'all think our all-line is bad. Y'all tripping. There's no way we can give up we can't let them have their best game. No, not on the ground. 25th in sacks allowed. We're right behind them, one sack behind. So I think they're sitting at 27. We're at 26. So again, that O-line is not necessarily one of the best in the league, not by a long shot. So if we give up their best rushing performance on the ground, I don't want to hear nothing else about no playoff talk, straight up. That's at least on the offensive side of the Miami thing, the Miami side of things, that is.
Yeah, and as you guys can see with these stats here, I mean, let's look at their top two rushers here. As you mentioned, JD, Myles Gaskins, 133 yards, 3.5 yards average. His longest carry is 20. He averages not even 40 yards a game, 39.4. That's their leading rusher, folks. The next guy up, Salvon Ahmed, running back. He's got 41 carries, 192.7 yards per carry. He's averaging 10 yards, 10, 11 yards a game. Like, man, if on everything I love, I want to say 50, but we're on the road. Allowed them to get anything more than 70, 75 yards at the absolute max. I want to say 50 because 3 times this year we have held teams up under 50 yards. You know what? Fuck that. I'm going with no. If we give up more than 50 yards to this team, like you said, JD, dead all that talk. There's no way that a team that averages their leading rush is 3.5 yards should be sniffling anything, any type of success against us. And after the way that we played and got punked, if we don't come in there and lock shit up, I'm going to be highly, highly disappointed, as you stated. And then, as far as their receivers, one of my favorite draft crushes a couple years ago is starting to come in. I think it's with his 3rd season now. You didn't mention him, but tight end Mike Gesicki. He's got 579 yards on 76 targets with 49 receptions. Only has 2 touchdowns, but he's definitely starting to emerge as a tight end threat. 52.6 yards a game. Yeah, so he's definitely someone that physically can be a matchup problem because he's very athletic. So he's definitely someone that we got to keep an eye on as well. But outside, like you said, of Jaden Waddle, Devontae Parker, like I said, they got some legit players that can give us fits if we're not on our game. But overall, I really think that again, this should be a dominant defensive performance by our team to win this game. So let's take a quick look at the lineups here. All right, so with the Miami Dolphins, looks like their base package is 11 personnel. And for those who don't know, 11 means one tight end, one running back. That's where the 11 comes from. And then, of course, the 3 wide receivers. For you Alabama fans, good old Tua Tagovailoa starts at the starter, but him and Jacoby Brissett seems like they rotate. So they're doing a 2-quarterback system that many Panther fans are thinking we should do with Cam and PJ Walker. But when you take a look at this, which was mentioned, Big Smooth, me and you, we looked at a lot of these guys that they actually got on this team and particularly starting. Tell me, what is it that you see as far as strengths and weaknesses with this particular offensive line?
I feel like they're gonna give Greg Little the start so he can come out and abuse Brian Burns all game long. I think that's what's gonna happen, man. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. Like, let me stop playing. No, honestly, we should dominate this unit. We should dominate. But it seems like, being a Panther fan since basically 1999, when it comes down to us having the opportunity to dominate, we tend not to do it. So, Leon Eisenberg, he was a highly coveted tackle coming out of the draft. If you follow me in 4-man rush, he was a guy I was not a fan of at all from Notre Dame. I didn't think we should draft him. I didn't view him as a starter. I didn't view him as the future at left tackle. So if Hassan Reddick and Brian Burns don't have themselves a game, I'm going to know something. Austin Jackson, another bum. He was highly touted coming out of school. He was somebody I didn't think we should have drafted. Good thing we didn't. If we don't abuse him, I'm going to know something. Austin Reiter, though, I'm a fan of. I think they got a pretty solid center right there. I just watched Tyler Larson. I don't know if y'all remember him, but at one point he was our practice squad center, and then he became our backup center, and then he was at one point our third string center. He abused Derek Brown all last game. He abused him when he was on the field. So we can't. We there's no gimmies when it comes to the interior because our interior is sweet. So we might get abused by Austin Reiter if our number one pick Derek Brown don't wake the fuck up. But outside of that, man, I don't see no threats, man. We gotta be better in the trenches. Ron was actually a blessing for us because it was a wake up call. It showed us that we got to get better in the trenches. We was feeling ourselves a little bit, but on both sides of the ball, we seem to be pretty sweet when it comes to the interior. I need better guard play from our guards, and I need way better tackle play from my defensive tackles. Those 3 names right there, Robert Hunt, Austin Reiter, and Austin Jackson. I mean, if you really, you don't want to say that those guys are problems, but honestly, our defensive tackles haven't been that good. So those are keys to the game right there. We got to hope that we can win the war when it comes to our DTs versus those 3 interior linemen, bro, because Tyler Larson for a quarter and a half had Derek Brown looking sweet. I don't want to talk no more. Go watch the tape. Tyler Larson was abusing Derek Brown, your top 10 pick from a couple seasons ago. So we can't take nothing for granted, Kevin. We can't. We can't take a damn thing for granted when it comes to our trenches because we've been looking sweet past couple games.
All right, so JD, when it comes to, I know you was talking about you talked a little bit about the skill players here. I mean, with the way that, and we'll stick with the hot take here for a moment. Dante Jackson had. Is there any? How do you feel like we match up our cornerbacks versus these Dolphins wide receivers, and also touch on? Do you think any one of our linebackers can keep up with an athletic tight end such as a Mike Gesicki?
It's hard for me to say, honestly. I think their top two guys, Albert Wilson and Jalen Waddle, are speedsters. So Dante is going to get the matchup, especially if Gilmore is not going to be playing 100% of snaps like he should be. Matt Collins is a big body guy, UNC guy. Go Tar Heels, salute to UCAF. I've been a fan of his for a little while, so he's a little bit of a bigger guy. I think AJ Bouye might take on that task, but it's still gonna be because if you miss your keys, or if you don't play within a scheme, you're gonna give up a chunk play to these guys, especially Jalen Waddle, Albert Wilson. Matt Collins is no slouch either. As far as the linebackers go, Mike Gesicki is also one of my favorite tight end prospects in his draft. So 40-inch vertical guy, extremely explosive, nice solid hands. So it's going to be a test for our linebackers. I think Shaq Thompson might get the bulk of those coverage reps, and Shaq has been covering well this year. So I'm not overly concerned about it, but still, you're gonna have to play within the scheme and play sound football, or you're gonna give up chunk plays. So again, not to trash Myles Gaskin, a little bit of a skater. He's not necessarily going to blow the top off. He's not overly super explosive, but he's fluid enough to make you pay if you're not in your right gap. So it's gonna be a tough from the top to bottom as far as being able to rebound from the last game. My concern is primarily the safeties. I'm not gonna lie to you. With a guy like Jalen Waddle being able to take the top off, you're gonna need some safety help probably. So I'm not too confident in our safety's ability to kind of cover that ground and keep up with that guy, especially if we have to get out of man coverage and we have to run zone. That's going to be a concern for me because I'm not sure that we have that guy that has enough range to kind of stay that option for them.
But JD, we have 5 number 1 corners. Why do we fear anybody's pass game? That's my question. Why?
That's an excellent question, though.
Why do we fear anybody's pass game when we got 5 number 1 corners? I know J.C. Horn is hurt, but you literally have 5 top dogs in your roster. Why do we fear anybody's pass game? Does that not point back to coaching?
Look, Gilmore can't put himself on the field, so.
Yeah, well, again, this is where it's conflicting for me as a fan, because as a fan, I feel like, we should go in there and should win by something like 35-10. For the points that have been greatly brought up and said repeatedly. And, we try not to overstate the obvious, but when it's just so glaring, we're just going to keep you guys aware. But, man, they're talented. And they're at home. They on the street. They got a little bit of confidence. So, even though they're 5-6, we have no right to be looking down at this team whatsoever. I think this game may be closer than what it should be.
It will be.
But again, I got to feel like that we're going to pull this out to get to 6-6, and we're going to get into this bye week as a 500 team and try to, get our second win to, start this 5 game. What essentially will be, like I said, if we get to 6-6, our playoff start as soon as the bye week is over. We're gonna be in playoff mode. This is what me myself personally. Now, what the other guys may say, think about that. I let them speak on it, but just for me personally, when I'm looking at these matchups here, it's just hard for me to think like, damn, my Carolina Panthers can't handle these guys. It's just really hard for me to feel that way. But with the results after what we seen yesterday against a 3-6 Washington team, hey, anything can happen on any given Sunday. Pushing over to the other side of the ball here, looks like the Dolphins run a 3-4 base defense here with the 30 front. Couple of guys that I personally looked at, and me and Smooth, we definitely looked at, but that I had really had peak interest in. One was Raekwon Davis out of Alabama. The other is Christian Wilkins out of. Some of you guys may remember draft night. He was the one that did the huge jump into Roger Goodell's hand when he got in arms when he got called when he got drafted. That's one of the things I remember about him. Okay, you there, Smooth?
What was the question? I broke up a bit.
Okay, no, I heard the sound like someone had dropped, so I added you back. I just want to make sure you were still there.
Oh yeah, I'm here. I just don't think Miami's a team we need to sleep on because they got the same record as us. I think maybe one less game, and at the end of the day, they beat a couple of good football teams. They beat the Jets. Not say that they're a good football team, but like you said, they have some momentum coming into this game. What about us makes us feel like we can play the Dolphins and have a guaranteed win? Like I said, man, our top 10 defensive tackle got abused by Tyler Larson. Matter of fact, he got abused by three different centers because Ron Rivera rotated three different centers and they all dominated. We got dominated in the trenches, bro. We got abused. Like, what's our strength? Like, I don't know, man. Come down to coaching. This is not a gimme game. I don't feel like we have any gimme games on our schedule. I think we have to go out and really prove it to ourselves that we're going to be a better football team than the Dolphins. So I look forward to the game. It's another week that we get to watch football, but it's not a guaranteed win. I like to see them start Greg Little and see how Greg Little performs against this weak ass run game and Brian Burns and Hassan Reddick because they've been getting abused by everybody. You can get as many sacks as you want. When it comes to first and second down, we sweet as fuck. I don't think it matter who we play. So yeah, this team ain't ran for more than 90 yards. Shit, they looking at this film like this is. Hey, we want to run for 100 yards. This is a team to do it against. This is a team to do it against.
Well, I
So,
hate to disappoint you, but Greg Little's on IR, so he won't be in this game, Smooth.
okay, so walk him out there with a cast on. I just want to see Greg Little, bro.
y'all want to hear the injury listing though? That was funny to me. Undisclosed.
Is he a healthy IR scratch like how Sam
Like he was
Darnold
last
is?
year?
Undisclosed.
We all know Sam Darnold not really hurt, but he on IR too. So
look, they should have put him as undisclosed.
what's the difference?
Yeah, he got put on IR undisclosed with us last year too. How
Hey
you in
man,
practice? How you on the practice dump and then go on IR? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's the coach. Like, get this motherfucker away from me, man.
hey, if it's any opportunity to redeem yourself, it's against us.
Right, definitely.
They're gonna put a club on his arm and he gonna smack Brian Burns upside the head. That's what's going
we be clubbing.
Damn, I'm mad Greg Little not going to play, bro. I was excited for this one.
Hey JD, what's Devontae Parker's injury? I see he's on IR too. Him and Alan Hearns and William Fuller the fifth. What's their
Oh, they got
injuries?
good receivers.
They interesting part about it is he's designated to return from IR in week 12, so that's against us. It's a shoulder injury, so who knows how far along he is on that. But yeah, if he comes back And Will Fuller is also designated to return this week as well. So if they both come back, it's going to be definitely a little bit more challenging than if they were out for sure, because those two are game changers.
So Smooth, while you had temporarily dropped out, I had mentioned the Dolphins run a 3-4. I had said some guys that you had peeped out when they was coming into the draft was Raekwon Davis out of Alabama, Christian Wilkins out of Clemson. They also got Emmanuel Ogba as their 30 front guys. And then with their 4 linebackers, Andrew Van Ginkel, Elandon Roberts, Jerome Baker, and a Brennan Scarlett. Personally, I can't name none of the 4 linebackers, to be honest with you. So, if there's anything you'd like to share that you may know, that any one of these guys may have crossed your path or whatever, feel free to fill me in. I don't want to front like I know when I don't.
No, you watched a lot of film on Davis, and you watched a lot of film on Christian Wilkinson
Right.
or Wilkins,
I know them
whatever.
guys.
But we just happen to have a guy named Michael Jordan that had a bad game, and I think he's going to come out pissed off. So I think he'll make an emphasis on dominating the football game. I don't know what's going on with Dennis Daly. I think that at this point you might as well just start Brady Christensen. And we can pray that somehow, some way, Trent Scott beats out John Miller in practice. But if we actually had a competent coaching staff, there's 5 guys that we can put out there that I feel like would dominate Miami's defensive line all game long. And that's Christensen, Jordan, Elflane, Scott, and Moulton. But we're not going to get that. So it just depends on, what version of John Miller we get on Sunday, what version of Michael Jordan we get. Because, like I said, he had an off game. It just depends on what the game calling is, what the game plan is going to be. Are we just going to try to control the clock? Because we haven't put an emphasis on that all year. We've been winning time of possession, but it seems like in the recent couple of weeks, we haven't just said, you know what? Fuck our pass game. We just going to dominate in the trenches and have control of this football game. We haven't done that in so long. You got way too many running backs plus receivers that can play running back to not do that. One thing that pissed me off last week, they kept faking that jet sweep to Robbie Anderson, but Robbie's never shown you that he's a threat with the ball in his hands early in the down, trying to create space. So why do you keep sending him on that jet sweep fake? Fake that jet sweep to DJ Moore. I just got so many issues with coaching right now, man. So many issues with coaching. I think we just had a winnable football game. When it came down to Ron Rivera outclassed our coaching staff. And I think in Miami, this is just another game that we can sleep on because we can fuck around and get out coached again. This team is getting better every year, just like us. So what does it really come down to? It's going to come down to making the right decisions with coaching. And I just don't have confidence in our staff, but I'm hoping I'll get proved wrong.
All right. So when it comes to the secondary here, JD, looks like they got someone that was one of the sought after free agents in Xavier Howard, Byron Jones. I've heard about him. I've heard about Javon Holland. I'm not sure about this Eric Rowe, who's their starting strong safety here. What can you tell me about the secondary for the Dolphins, both starters and any key players coming in, like Nicola Dime or anything like that you can tell me here?
Yeah, so these top 2 corners are the real deal. Obviously, both are playmakers. Both are athletic enough to stick with pretty much any guy in man coverage. Xavier Howard, ball hawk certified. Byron Jones, athletic freak, getting better at technique every year. So those guys are no slouches. Eric Rowe and Javon Holland. I was a fan of Javon Holland coming out of Oregon. Eric Rowe coming out of Utah. I think he spent some time with the Eagles and Patriots. So these guys are all have seen a lot of football, and all of them are really talented. They play well together. I think Jason McCourty playing would have made a huge difference when he's on IR. If he was playing, this probably would be one of the best defensive back groups in the league, just from top to bottom. I think they're going to be able to challenge us no matter what coverage we play, because their guys are athletic enough and rangy enough to show something pre-snap and then bail back to the original call and make their assignment right as we snap the ball. So I think they might try to disguise some coverages on us. I haven't watched their film yet to see how much they do that, but yeah, these guys are definitely talented. They fly around. Justin Coleman probably be their nickel. They got Nick Needham as well, so it's going to be something to watch. I think maybe you can take advantage of their third wide receiver if you bring us out in if we run a lot more 11 personnel. That way we can get a third wide receiver out there. But that's something I need to see from Joe Brady, our third wide receiver, when he is out there, unless his name is Brandon Zylstra, hasn't been a threat. So that's something. It's going to be a challenge for our passing game, and you still, even though they're a good group, you can't be complacent and not try to take shots with guys like Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore on our team. So it's going to be interesting to see how much more we add to the offense now that Cam has had another week, or is going to have another week of practice and getting timing down and all that great stuff with our receivers. How much different we're going to look, especially against two solid corners like they have in Howard and in Byron Jones.
Yeah, and I'm also peeping out the depth chart here. Is Elijah Campbell, isn't that the corner from Georgia? Some we're looking at as well. That ran what time am I thinking about a different Campbell?
That's a different Campbell. Elijah Campbell is from Northern Iowa, but they do have Trill Williams.
Yeah, from Syracuse. Yeah, that was somebody that I was I was really high on as well. And I see the other one, what's his name? Noah in Bingo Heaney. Where's he from? You remember?
Auburn.
Okay, I knew some of these names looked familiar from our draft process. And how about we got a former Panther we're facing, former punter, Michael Pilardi. He was picked up and now plays for the Dolphins. So big smooth, you know what I'm saying? We don't get, Byron Bell. I mean, not Byron Bell, damn. Greg Little. We can get a look at what he does against us. Yeah. But overall, give me your final score predictions for this game. Now that we've went over both sides here, what do y'all say? Start with you, Smooth, and then you, JD. Hey guys, y'all still there?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
Both these teams are 24th in total touchdowns, so whether it be running or passing the ball. So honestly, I'm feeling, even though I don't want it to be a low-scoring game, I want to blow the Dolphins out the water, honestly. Like, I want to see our best rushing game. I want to see our best run-stopping game, and I want to control the clock and dominate and score touchdowns. But realistically, I'm seeing like a 17-14 game coming down to a field goal, and I can't call it either way. I don't believe this is a playoff team for us, so I'm gonna call it 17-14 Miami.
So you think Miami will get us, huh?
I think this game is gonna prove whether we're frauds or not. Like we ain't gonna be able to hide after this game. That's straight up.
Right.
So and if we're looking at the trends, like teams having their best rushing day against us, and by them having their best rushing day against us, they get into play action, they dot us up. We have to go to zone. They still dot us up. Can't stop them. Can't get off on third down. I think it's gonna be a tough loss. And after this loss, we just lick our wounds going into the bye week and go ahead and start looking forward to next year. Because if you lose to Miami, bro, you are not a playoff team. I don't care what anybody say.
Definitely feel you. Definitely brought up valid points. Big Smooth, if you're still there with us, what's your give us your prediction and score? All right, I think Smooth's having some technical difficulties with us. Y'all know me. I like being optimistic and try to find this. Like I said, the inconsistencies I'm seeing with our team, particularly at home. But for whatever reason, we seem to be a different team on the road. Here, and like I said, with the week of Cam Newton getting reps, I'm gonna go ahead and say Panthers 24. I'm gonna say Dolphins 13. That's the score I'm gonna go with here. And like I mentioned at the beginning of our, my plans is to go down this weekend to Miami for this game, JD. And I mean, hey, if anybody want to, tickets are available and free here. I'm looking at the tickets right now. Their tickets are starting off at $30 for this game.
Boy. They take his cost as much as a haircut up here.
Man, bruh, come on, man.
Might as well give out free phase if you go in the Hard Rock Stadium. Will ain't gonna need one though, but hey.
You stupid. Yo, JD calling sick, man. Come meet me in Charlotte, man. Catch this flight Saturday, man. Let's go on down to Miami, man.
Word.
Yep. All right. So just to wrap up with our fans here, just go through some of these questions here. Longtime Panther Foreman Rush fan Bill Spire says, 2 trash teams no one wants to see. You can make a strong case for that. But I want to see a Panthers win to get a 6-6. Bill, as ugly as we paid, as our team has played. We're not out of it. We're slowly in it, but we're not out of it. Again, by being undefeated in the division only, even though it looks like Tampa is about to go up 3.5 games on us, because they're currently leading the New York Giants 27-10 in the fourth quarter, and they just got another interception off of Daniel Jones. So, we still got 4 divisional games left, starting with Atlanta at home for our 3rd divisional game, December 12th. And then our last 3 games of the season, Tampa, at New Orleans, at Tampa, to wrap up our divisional slate here. So definitely looking forward to see what kind of noise we can make. But for me, if we win 6-6, I'm looking forward to trying to make a playoff push. But if we lose and go to 5 or 7, I'm gonna look forward to start making my draft plans. That's just it from that's just pretty much how it is for me. Let's see. We got Gillian Granum here says, I like your analysis. That said, the team is young. The coach staff and experience at this level. This is only the 2nd year, which we all agree. But, we definitely think that there are we're still seeing some year 1 coaching errors still showing up in year 2. Gillian, but I think for most part, majority of us outside of Big Smooth are said we're waiting to see the year 3 explosion that usually comes from a Matt Rule coach team. So we'll see. Let's see. Our main man, Cage Luke, Mr. Cage Luke here says we ain't going to the playoffs. Rules team's only good for 2 complete games a season. Hey, the way we played yesterday, you definitely got a right to feel that way. Hard to argue against you there. Got some fan predictions here. Freddie Figueroa's got 27-17 Carolina. On to say I don't want to see us losing 2 in a row. And he also said, especially wanting to get into this dance. Hey, if we can somehow sneak into the playoff in year 2, that'll be a huge accomplishment. Seriously. I think we got the talent to do it. But again, leading the league in penalties and our run defense, those are going to be the things that keep us out and have us looking at mock drafts for the next several months. All right, great. So, final wrap up here. We want to thank you guys for joining us here tonight, here with the 4-man rush. I know some of you guys were looking forward to Will. Will is here in town in the Charlotte area visiting family for Thanksgiving this week. So, from on behalf of us, the 4-man rush, it's a happy, fun-filled but safe holiday week going on this year. JD, you got any final thoughts?
Well, I'm gonna be unbearable if we lose to the Dolphins. I'm gonna just say that ahead of time. Like, I'm about to take the Twitter, and I'm about to make y'all eat crow. Y'all better hope we win, like I hope we win, because y'all gonna have. Look, y'all better save some room this Thanksgiving. Don't save some of that for that crow y'all gonna have to eat, because boy, I ain't gonna look. Y'all better pray. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, folks, there it is. All right, so on behalf of everyone here at the 4-man rush, we want to thank you here tonight. Again, appreciate Big Smooth and JD for joining us here. We're looking forward to hopefully what's going to be a week where we go 1-0 come Sunday. Like I said, I'm looking forward to fly out of Charlotte on Saturday, fly back on Monday. Looking forward to getting up with Will, who'll be flying back home, I believe, Friday, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely 4-man rush is definitely look like it's a strong possibility that we will be in Miami for this game. So make sure you folks stay tuned and stick with us. All right, but definitely appreciate you guys' support, and always want to thank you guys for supporting the 4-man rush. Don't forget to check us out on our website, the4manrush.com. That's THE4man.com. And also, catch us on all our social media sites as well. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all of our sites you can catch us on is on our website. All right, so we'll catch you guys later. Again, stay safe wherever you're at. Stay warm. I know it's supposed to be like 20-something degrees here in the morning here in the Charlotte area, so that's how I'm gonna get it in. But again, you guys take care. We appreciate you guys, and what a rush.